I looked over at Dad and I was like, geez, that smells good. Hang on a minute, how about a beer?
Pioneering Riverland farmer Ben Wadlow is dedicated to turn this mysterious fruit into a pantry staple for Australian consumers. It's a jujube, a versatile fruit often compared with a small apple. Here he is growing the Indian jujube, also known as burr fruit. There is also a Chinese variety known as the Chinese date or red date. All of them can be eaten fresh or dried.
The taste varies from variety to variety. So you'll get a hint of apple, but you'll get this very unique jujube crunch and an explosion of flavour through the mouth.
Jujubes have been grown for thousands of years in Asia, but they are only now gaining popularity in Australia.
It's quite good, yeah. It started about 20 years ago. I came across the first jujube. It sort of all started then. I fell in love with the tree. It was a fascinating tree originally from China. We didn't really have too much material here in Australia, so we started looking overseas for possible more introductions. So that led me to a bit of a plant hunting stage.
Since then, he's introduced more than 40 different varieties to Australia, all grown on his farm in South Australia's Riverland, about a 2-hour drive east of Adelaide. There are about a dozen growers in the state, but the fruit is also grown in Western Australia, Victoria and New South Wales. The 2020 South Australian harvest has been difficult because of the pandemic and weather extremes. Farmers have been left with lots of damaged fruit and distribution problems.
There's always those seconds and always that waste product, either slight dents, slight misfits. So this year with the COVID-19, we had a little bit of extra fruit, a little bit harder to sell the fruit this year for various reasons. So it gave us the idea, well, we've got all this extra fruit, we need to do something with it, we can't just let it fall on the ground.
Since then, Ben Wadlow and his dad Bill have been busy working in their farm shed, turning their waste into a jujube vinegar.
So we thought we'll try and make a vinegar out of the jujubes so we can aim for the health food market and for the chefs, which can use straight over salads to give that nice, really fresh but slightly acidic taste.
It's the first of its kind in Australia. They're hoping it could turn into a sustainable product for farmers.
Cheers.
And a pantry staple for consumers.
Oh, it's quite smooth.
Yeah, very smooth.
Nearby, fellow South Australian grower Jody Miltonoff has been working on setting up a growers' association. But while farmers have jumped on board, there are some hurdles stopping the jujube industry from expanding.
The major challenges are getting trees and getting the trees on the right rootstock.
Because it's hard to get trees, it's left farmers, including the Miltonoffs, making the most of all the fruit they grow. With growers busy finding creative ways to use their waste fruit in new products to make the industry more versatile, some are even turning the small fruit into an innovative new beer. Jody's son Marcus thought of the idea when he found wild fresh jujubes soaking in water.
And so yeah, I opened the bucket with the fresh fruit and I could hear that the fizzing and the fermenting. And I looked over at Dad and I was like, geez, that smells good. You know, we could make, something like a jujube kombucha. What do you think? And Dad's like, oh, yeah, not bad. And then we thought, well, how about a jujube cider? And then we both looked at each other again and thought,
Beer.
Hang on a minute, how about a beer?
But turning the big idea into a tangible brew has been quite the process for the family.
So yeah, you're happy with the I guess, the style of the beer and how the brew process went?
Yeah, man, it's like really, really good.
Awesome.
Finding a brewer to come up with the right recipe for the little unknown fruit wasn't easy.
Cheers.
Cheers. It was a complete unknown, so there's very little information. No one's really brewed many beers with Jujubes. It wasn't something that I could type into Google and be like Jujube beer and find a bunch of information like there is with a lot of other ingredients.
They closely examined the flavor of the fruit, decided what style of beer it would suit, and then the experimentation began.
The first run?
Beautiful. Bloody exciting.
It was a special moment when the first commercial brew run was taken off the production line.
It has a nice coffee, chocolate sort of character that you'd think like of when you're drinking a porter. But at the end, you get this really nice, pleasant aftertaste that's like very much the Jujube fruit. And it's got this rich, sultanery, kind of like date cake flavour.
It's fantastic to be able to use your wastage. So you eliminate wastage from your orchard, you value add, and that gives you, it improves your bottom line. And yeah, you have a fantastic product that you can offer nationally quite easily as well.
After battling through challenges on how to best grow the fruit, farmers are now confident in the industry's potential.
We thought, well, if we can introduce the fruit into a product that is widely consumed nationally, especially here in Australia, we thought, you know, in terms of the craft beer movement, we thought the Jujube would be a perfect companion into a beer.